has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible, hanging out the bad, hate the broken, hate the bad, apple with a bad attitude, hanging around a bunch of bad, out of bad tape, bad law, bad dude, bad rep, bad attitude, bad vibes. We are live in the Magic City Studios in the Ferrall of Malaysia, right across the river through the woods from where Granny is getting out of the rehab center tomorrow and told me to get her a fresh sack of the hybrid lemon cushy kush in New York City. The Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directed Travis, some kind of fashion, shake it up, do that. All my men come around, flutter, party up, rats on the west side, beppers uptown with the best sides of my brain. Splattered all over Manhattan, shadooby, shake it, ooh. It's only rock and roll, but I like it, yes I do, but I like it. Hey, what's gigging? I'm Ferrall, along with your boy Carver High this afternoon. Mafia's running it with Hayden Fried, LTN, and Kansas City Mo. Let's get a birthday roll call on a misery Monday, shall we? Carl Banks, 60, former G-Man. Will Perdue, 57. Henry Blanco, 51. Jay Unrate, 48, the Canadian sportscaster. Roy Oswald, 45. Jamal Lewis, 43. Chris Sims, 42. David West, 42. Brent Suter, 33. Chris Taylor, 32. Zach Kerr, 32. Thor is 30 today, and Razul Douglas, 28. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Well, the NFL preseason is finally over for Carver High. Thank God we've had enough of it, right? The Steelers beat the Lions at the place where the Steelers play. 19-9 was the final yesterday in Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett impressive in the final preseason game for him, finished 29-36 for 261 and 3 TDs. Mike Tomlin will talk about nothing concerning his quarterbacks. He's not named a starter yet. I think it's still Trubisky. Deontay Johnson left the game early with a shoulder problem. Of course, Watt left the game with a knee. I mean, Christ, I can't even believe they put him in the game, to be honest with you. The Jets beat the G-Men in the Snoopy Bowl 31-27. Saturday, Colts over the Bucs 27-10. We got Brady on the show. Broncos beat the Vikes by 10. BC Johnson, the wide receiver, tore his ACL for the Vikings, done for the year. Falcons beat the Jags big. Bengals over the Rams 16-7. Bears beat the Browns 21-20. Titans over the Cards by 3. Dolphins blew out the Eagles 48-10. Ravens over Washington 17-15. 23 straight preseason wins for the Baltimore Ravens. How about Washington rookie Brian Robinson in stable condition after being shot in a robbery attempt? Later, we'll dive into this show deep. And the Ravens also lost their mascot, who was carted off with a serious injury. John Harbaugh will give you an update. We got the Lions share coming up, plus Jason Scott, the VP of trading for BetMGM. We'll get into everything going on at the house. And Friday, the Panthers beat the Bills 21-0. The Bills did cut the punter, Matt Araiza, after the gang rape allegations. What a mess. We got Sean McDermott talking about it. Sam Darnold and Zane Gonzalez both carted off Friday night for the Panthers. They got issues. Darnold out 4 to 6 weeks with the high ankle sprain is what it is. Cowboys beat the Seahawks by 1, 27-26. We got Pete Carroll. He did name Geno Smith the starting quarterback. Saints beat the Chargers 27-10. Raiders beat the Pats 23-6. Brady's top 100. They named him the number 1 player in the NFL. The Browns have gone winless in 17 straight games. In week 1 games, the most in NFL history. Welcome all of our radio affiliates, SiriusXM, Channel 159, Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio in San Diego. Near to you wanna, do you wanna? Sports Map Radio Network, Sports Byline USA. Good to have you with us on a Monday. The Dodgers beat the Marlins 8-1. Mookie Betts destroys the Marlins with 2 home runs and a double Friday night. Another home run Saturday. Another home run Sunday. The guy's just going off. A's beat the Yankees 4-1. They split the 4 games in Oakland. How embarrassing is that? We got Aaron Boone talking about the Yankees offense. Dead. Yankees put Chapman on the IL. He got a tattoo and it got infected, believe it or not. The Mariners beat Cleveland 4-0. It was Robbie Ray Day. He got it done again. They took 3 of 4 in the series. Dylan Moore with a big 3-run home run. France hit one. Cards beat the Braves 6-3. Tyler O'Neill with the late 3-run homer. That was the difference. We got Corey Anderson on today, the light heavyweight from Bellator. We'll talk to him. Rockies beat the Mets, and Max Scherzer 1-0 on Sunday, if you can even believe it. Buck Showalter's on the show. Bobby V rocking the old mustache for the Old Timers Day out at Citi Field. D-backs beat the White Sox 3-2, scoring in the ninth to win it in Chicago. Jake McCarthy, the go-ahead double. La Russa doesn't blame the fans for booing the team all the time. We'll hear from Tony La Russa, Dusty Baker. We got everything. Rays beat the Red Sox 12-4 to avoid the sweep. Arozarena came up big with a double. Ohtani with a home run, and the Angels win over the Jays. They swept the series in Toronto. I can't even fathom that happened. Brewers beat the Cubs 9-7. Lauer won his 10th. I hit that bet as well. Brewers, Trevor Rosenthal, another setback during rehab. He should just retire. Honestly, the guy can't even blow his nose without getting injured. Royals beat the Padres 15-7. Salvi Perez with a home run. We'll get into all the playoff races. And today in sports history, we'll get into that as well. Tonight's games, there's a few and a couple of really good ones, San Diego and San Francisco. We got all your college football. Northwestern stunning Nebraska in Dublin. And Scott Frost was asked if he'd consider stepping down in Lincoln. We'll go through all the college games, get you ready for this week's big slate on the college gridiron. You name it. How about Rory taking the $18 million and coast to coast?
Fantasy Sports Today.
Josh Jacobs, after winning the Offensive Player Rookie of the Year a few years ago, has kind of been back and forth as far as his possibilities go. When he's on the field and he's running, he looks as good as anybody in the NFL.
For whatever reason, I don't know what his relationship is like with Josh McDaniels, but it seems like whatever they are seeing from him, they don't want him to be a full-time running back. So at the price that he costs, pretty much no way.
The Sports Grid Network. The Early Line.
Paul Goldschmidt is minus 1450 to win the NL MVP award. The question is not whether this guy is going to win the NL MVP. It's can he get the NL Triple Crown?
You know who's number 2? Nolan Arenado on the same team. 25 to 1. Arenado's not jumping him at this point, so Paul Goldschmidt looks like he locked this thing up.
Only on Sports Grid. The morning after.
Scott Frost in 4 seasons, just 6-17 against his divisional opponents. If they are going to win a Big Ten West title, if this is finally the year the offseason hype meets regular season results, it will happen through that division.
Ultimately, it's going to come down to beating teams like Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin, and I'm not quite there yet. We'll see how it unfolds, but Nebraska's struggled with all 3 of those programs.
The Sports Grid Network.
You might be the next daily fantasy millionaire. No matter what you watch or where you play, learn from the world's best DFS players. Lineup building tools, expert projections, and advanced stats change the way you play the game. Dominate the competition. DailyRoto.com, the player's choice.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow inside the $1.3 trillion business sports with your Sports News Minute. Well, kudos to the WNBA. Their regular season average of over 400,000 was a 50% increase over last set of years and a high watermark of 800-some thousand for the last regular season game, highest since Candace Parker's debut game in 2008. It's a big deal for stability of the league, and certainly with the NBA backing it, with ESPN promoting it, with other platforms carrying it, and with superstars dominating it, it is another banner year for the WNBA. A few years ago, we constantly talked about survival, and we're clearly not doing that. Now women's sports elevates to an entirely new level as well. The WNBA takes its place and continues to grow. Sports Professor Rick Horrow, Sports News Minute.
Hey, my man, remember how intense I was when I was in the league?
Sure.
But now, I'm retired. Got everything on chill mode.
Chill mode, Mr. Garnett.
Boom! That's what I'm talking about. Big ticket hitting big parlays. Whose house is it?
Big Ticket's
Whose
house?
house is
Big
it?
Ticket's house.
Big Ticket's house.
Woo!
It's Big Ticket's house.
It's my house!
What?
You got to get on the BetMGM app. It's incredible. I've been hitting games left and right. You know, you can bet $10 on any major league game and get $200 if either team hits a home run. Use the bonus code MLBHR2022 to get involved. You're going to love it. The BetMGM app. I mean to tell you this thing, I'm addicted to it. I can't stop. And I tell everybody, $10, and then you get $200 if anybody hits a home run in the game. It's beautiful. Use that code MLBHR2022. All right, Carver High, it's finally over. The dreaded preseason. So now we can get ready for Thursday night, the 8th, when your Bills open up against the Rams, who won the Super Bowl at SoFi. That should be insane. And then Sunday, the 11th, it's full tilt pain day.
That's it. We have finally made it there. The preseason on the back burner, in the rearview mirror. Pain day time almost upon us. A week from Thursday night out at SoFi, where the Bills and the Rams will get the season going. But, of course, we did have those final preseason games over the weekend, Scotty, including yesterday, where your Steelers, who are now the only team left to decide their starting quarterback for the season, they beat the Lions 19-9. Trubisky played well, 15 of 19, $160, had a touchdown before the half. Kenny Pickett played well in the second half. His entire preseason, Scotty, very impressive. 29 of 36, 261, 3 touchdowns. So is Mike Tomlin ready to tell us who will be the starter for week 1 against the Bengals? No, Scotty. He is not ready to do that after the preseason game. Here's Mike.
Again, like I told you guys, I was going to leave him in there until I got to a level of comfort in terms of what I wanted to see. Getting Mitch in that group an opportunity to execute 2-minute was a major component, and so we got that.
Mike, do you have a starting quarterback?
I might, but you guys not going to have it today. Again, like I told you guys the other week, man, we're not going to make knee-jerk reactions and statements following a performance. We'll go through our proper professional procedure. We'll evaluate the game. We'll meet with our front office people. We'll have discussions. We'll talk internally. We'll talk external possibilities. We'll go through our normal procedure this time of year, and we'll disclose it to you at our leisure, to be quite honest with you.
Was the plan going in to give Mitch the entire first half?
Again, like I told you guys, I wanted to see some things, and I wasn't going to box myself into a corner. I'm glad that he got the first half so we could see him in the 2-minute, but it wasn't a requirement.
Well, it is what it is. It's ridiculous at the end of the day. So if he won't name him, I will. It'll be Trubisky, and then the kid will be the second stringer. And who knows if they'll trade Rudolph, who's never done anything but be average at best in Pittsburgh. And whenever I saw him play, he lost. I know he's got like some 6-5 record or something as a player for the Steelers, but I never saw him play well when I was at games, and I'm at every game basically. So it is what it is. Pickett was sensational in the preseason against third and fourth string garbage men and hacks that aren't even going to make the team. He was performing against the bottom feeders. He was not performing against number ones at all, and that's all that matters. He's never been in an NFL game. He has never been in a playoff game. He has never seen the blitz schemes that he will see in the NFL, and he would die in Cincinnati if they throw him in there the first game against the Bengals, who went to the Super Bowl on week 1 on the 11th on Sunday in the Queen City. Trubisky's been there, done that, 2 playoff trips with a terrible Bears team. They didn't get that veteran to sit him down for this kid. They're going to play him until the fans go crazy, booing and cussing and screaming and yelling in the media turns on Tomlin, and then they'll finally make the switch at some point midseason.
I'm with you. I think that the decision has been made. Let Mike to tell everybody whenever he feels like it. Trubisky's going to start the first game against the Bengals. It's too easy. He's played well enough. You can go to the kid if things go bad later on. There's no reason to rush the kid right now. And I wouldn't be stunned, Scotty, if they could find a place, a new home for Rudolph by the time the rosters have to be down to 53 tomorrow. It would not stun me if they were able to do that. So there's certainly some teams that maybe need some backups around the league. Deontay Johnson did leave the game with a shoulder issue. You mentioned that TJ Watt left as well. That's kind of a little bit of the price you pay maybe for putting your guys in there in the last preseason game, but doesn't sound, Scotty, like anything serious with either guy. Hopefully both good to go for a week and a half from now, almost 2 weeks from now against the Bengals. Jets won the Snoopy Bowl, beat the Giants 31-27 yesterday at MetLife. Quite the performance. Saturday night, Colts beat the Bucs 27-10. Of course, Scotty, Tom Brady was gone for a couple weeks. He did get some action on Saturday night. 6 of 8, 44 yards, led him to a field goal. Here's Tom afterwards. First time he's talked since coming back to Buccaneer camp. Basically, he doesn't have to tell you where he was. He's got a lot going on. He's an old man. Here's Tom.
It's all personal. Everyone's got different situations they're dealing with, so we all have really unique challenges to our life, and, I'm 45 years old, man. There's a lot of going on, so, you just got to try to figure out life the best you can, and, it's a continuous process, so.
Yeah, what that means in Portuguese is his marriage is on the rocks.
Look,
honestly,
I was just going to say to you,
honestly.
Is there some, do you think, let's be honest, do you think that there's something a little bit more? Now, I said to you last week, I don't care that he missed 10 days or 2 weeks because he's played enough football in the NFL that he's going to know what to do week one when the Buccaneers turn it on against the Cowboys. But, you watch him yesterday, I don't know. Does it seem like maybe there is a little something, off with him going into this year, taking the time off, sounding like that? I don't know. Maybe.
Well, who knows what to believe with all the rumors that go around about him, that he's, he went on some vacation with his wife and kids, or then before that it was that he wasn't a good father and he wasn't helping, run the house and run the kids to school, etc. And all that stuff to me that's reality for everybody. It is what it is. But I don't think this guy literally needs 1 second of any kind of training camp whatsoever. And they also just voted him the #1 player in the NFL at 45 years old, which is absurd. That is absurd. He is not the best player in the NFL and hasn't been for a long time. And that list of ranked players is the worst thing maybe I've ever seen.
The list is nonsense.
It's embarrassing.
The list is
it's embarrassing.
Absolute nonsense. Broncos beat the Vikings. Vikings wide receiver Basee Johnson tore his ACL, done for the year. Falcons beat the Jags. Jags are going to suck this year. Book it now. Play the under. Bengals beat the Rams on Saturday night, 16-7. Bears did beat the Browns. Fields played well. Let's see if he can play well when it matters. Titans beat the Cards. Dolphins smoked the Eagles. So much for the stomach bug that they had a couple of days before. I'm going to save the Ravens stuff for later on, Scotty. I will tell you, though, Washington rookie running back Brian Robinson, stable condition after being shot in a robbery attempt. He was having a tremendous camp for the team, was beating out Gibson. Unfortunate incident for Robinson, Scotty.
Yeah, we're going to talk to JB Finley in D.C. later from The Fan and NBC and find out exactly what happened. I'm hearing it was like a carjacking, robbery. He got shot. He's out of Alabama, great running back. He was having a great camp. It is what it is. Let me just say this really quick about the preseason. All of those teams, all of them, except Sans Baltimore, take them off the list. But every team that had a great preseason, the Jets and all these teams, the Bears, they'll all suck this year completely in the regular season. Terrible.
Ferrall, coast to coast.
Justin Fields, making his first ever start in the NFL, got sacked 9 times. Right. And Matt Nagy didn't bother letting his running backs, chip blockers or take on pass rush responsibilities. And that is so irresponsible. You're going to see a lot of this coaching staff, hopefully, trying to use the traits of his that are special. And I think Fields will benefit from having a coaching staff that's a little smarter about how they use him.
The Sports Grid Network. The Early Line.
I think the Guardians are starting to command not just respect in terms of the central race, but they really should be in the American League overall.
They probably figure, Kevin, let's just play 500 baseball the rest of the way. I don't think the Twins and the White Sox are good enough to put that into overdrive and overtake us at this point. So it's not one of those where, hey, look at our final schedule. We got 30 games left. We really need to go 20-10 to make the playoffs. They don't. Here you go. The Cleveland Guardians moving on in the playoffs.
Only on Sports Grid.
Pro Football Doc has found its new home right here with Sports Injury Central. And with that comes our expansion into other sports. Sports Injury Central will give you nonstop exclusive injury analysis from experienced team doctors from all 3 major sports. Doctors with resumes that include teams like the Chicago Bulls, the Texas Rangers, and the LA Chargers. So gain a fantasy, DFS, and betting edge right now for free at SICScore.com.
Sports Grid, your 24/7 sports wagering network.
They play less games.
The Early Line.
Take a look at the top 4 seeds here in the Big Ten. They're going to play less
Rodgers
games.
and
the morning
Russell
after.
Wilson. We saw movement in the marketplace like
Fantasy
Magic.
sports
the
today.
Cleveland Cavaliers are a little thin as well.
Newswire.
Minus 160 favorite on the money line today for Arizona.
Ferrall, coast to
TBG,
coast.
that's where they win cups. They win Stanley Cups over there. Give me the
Game
Penguins.
time decisions.
Kind of bizarre when you consider everybody is out for the Warriors.
In-game live, all
like
access.
I like Vandy against Bama. I think Vandy can win the game, take a 4.5.
In-game live, prime time.
The PGA champion.
In-game live, overtime.
All done before the final bet.
Get the winning edge. Only on Sports Grid. The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up Carver High. Friday night, another haul of cash on the Lion's Shares. We continue to romp and make people money. It's ridiculous.
You're absolutely right about that. We sent you into the weekend on a good way for the Lion's Share. A couple of the strikeouts, 2 taters, Trout and Judge. Both mentioned we said we wanted Judge at that big price because he was facing Sears. He provided all the runs in Friday night's game with that 3-run jack to center field. So very good Friday to get us into the weekend here on the Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM. All right, Scotty, we'll start with the strikeouts, of course. We were going to go to Gonsolin tonight with the Dodgers, but, Scotty, breaking news for you, the Dodgers just put him on the injured list, forearm strain for Tony Gonsolin. As we know, the Dodgers have been rolling along. Great pitching, too. Gonsolin's been excellent this year. Forearm strain, goes on the IL tonight, so he will not start. So we're going to go to the other starter in that game, Scotty, which is Pablo Lopez for the Fish. His number's 5.5, minus 120 to the over. He is under in 4 of his last 5, and he's facing the Dodgers, Scotty. We like Lopez, but I'm going under tonight for him with the 5.5.
Yeah, I don't believe Lopez is going to work a number on the Dodgers, and it certainly is bad news to lose Gonsolin. He's having a remarkable year. He and Anderson go unnoticed in the national media with the performance that they put on for LA, and losing him is no joke at this point.
That you don't like it because you're kind of at the point of the season now where if you're letting them rest for 2 or 3 weeks, you're talking mid-September. You got to ramp them back up in time for the first week of October when the playoffs start. Very tricky for the Dodgers with Gonsolin. All right, next, we will go out to Anaheim. Yankees and the Angels begin a 3-game series tonight, and Frankie Montas is getting the ball for the Bombers after an embarrassing split at the Ashtray against the Athletics. Now, Montas, 5.5 is the number tonight, Scotty. Minus 155 to the over, plus 110 to the under. Last time out against the Mets, first really strong performance for Frankie. Got over this number for the first time as a Yank. And, of course, has experienced lots of games against the Angels when he used to pitch in Oakland, including a 12-strikeout game against them in May when he was a member of the A's. Going over for Frankie tonight.
I mean, it's tricky because the Angels finally played good baseball this weekend and swept a series in Toronto. Now they go home to face the Yankees, who, as usual, imploded on the West Coast. That performance in Oakland was just absolutely an atrocity. And they are just the most, I mean, it's baffling. You can't even figure this team out. They can't beat the worst teams in the league. They're not winning anything. I will bet my life on it. They have no chance of winning anything in the playoffs or World Series. It's not happening. They can't beat the A's. So now they're going to go push around the Angels. What disaster is going to happen in Anaheim this time? I don't even believe. And now look, this guy's faced him 100 times. I don't even believe he can strike out 6 guys tonight. No, I'm going to go under. The Yankees suck. And when they're on the West Coast, I mean, what did they do today? Go boogie boarding? I mean, they don't play baseball at all. They just lose. They didn't score a run for 18 innings. I mean, what was it? A hit? They had one hit in 18 innings. One hit.
One hit. Then they faced 2 guys with 6+ ERAs on Saturday and Sunday, and they couldn't do anything against those guys.
I couldn't even watch
Not
it.
a good scene. Not a good scene. Next, we will go to the Giant-Padre game and start with Carlos Rodon late night tonight, Scotty. Rodon, 6.5. He's been very good to us. Minus 110 to the over, minus 125 to the under. How about this? He's usually at 7.5. When you bring it down to 6.5, he's over that number in 9 of his last 10, including double digits his last 2 times out. Had 12 strikeouts against the Padres about a month and a half ago, 6 earlier this year. I'm over for Rodon tonight.
All right, I'll go over, but I got to tell you, they're playing terrible baseball. They've gone 2-8 in their last 10. They're literally hitting like 127 as a team over the last 10 days, and they've gotten nothing done. They just got swept by the Twins, I believe. They look awful. And San Diego's 8-5 against them in the regular season. You know, I'll go with you on the 7, but I'm not betting on him tonight. I'm really not. There's something wrong with the Giants.
I'm not. Both teams coming in, obviously scuffling. The Padres have been bad too, Scotty. I mean, they lost a couple games in Kansas City this weekend, and they gave up a ton of runs. Clevenger will go for them tonight against the Giants. 4.5 for Clevenger, minus 140 to the over, minus 105 to the under. He's under 4.5 in 4 straight starts. But like you say, Giants not hitting right now.
They're not hitting, fair enough, and he's not striking anybody out. So Clevenger's running out of steam is what that is. I'm going to stay under with him as well.
I am going to stay under with Clevenger too. All right, it is tater time, Scotty. Let's get it. Now, look, you would have thought a guy who hit a home run in every game this weekend was blowing up against the Marlins, but I got to give him a rest tonight, Scotty. So we had Mookie in there to stay hot against the Marlins. He only tore them up all weekend, but Dave's giving him the night off down at South Beach for the wraparound series. So we've got to pass on Mookie. He had some weekend, though, Scotty, against the Marlins. He had some weekend.
Yeah, I mean, he hit a home run in every game.
He was tremendous, but a night off for him. We'll start with Xander Bogaerts for the Sox tonight, taking on the Twinkies. Listen, he had 2 home runs in the last week, but here's what did it for me, Scotty. 14 for 39 with 3 home runs off of Dylan Bundy, who he faces tonight. I'll take a shot with Xander plus 325.
Wow, it's really tricky because I think they're so awful that I'm going to say no. I hope you get it right to make money for everybody. I pray you get it right. I really do, but I'm not feeling it. They're just terrible. And one other thing, you know, you can talk about the Dodgers all you want and Mookie Betts and all of his home runs, but the real story in Miami this weekend was, again, Sandy Alcantara owning them. He absolutely was dazzling when he beat the Dodgers in Miami. This guy, that's a done deal, the Cy Young. Just give it to him.
A little revenge after the Dodgers kind of beat him around in L.A. the week before that, Scotty. He cleaned it up and took care of business this time out down at Marlins Park. All right, we're going to go to Matt Chapman and the Blue Jays next. You're right. They got whacked by the Angels all weekend. They're still at home. They've got the Cubs coming into town tonight. This is one of those times, Scotty, where I'm going to let you go on the board. Cubs are coming in with a young rookie pitcher. Chapman's plus 360. You want to add Vladdy. You want to add Springer. Whatever you want to do tonight, I think the Blue Jays get right after a really bad weekend with the Cubs coming in.
Yeah, and the odds are really bad in terms of betting on that game. I'll go for it with you on Chapman. Why not?
Bryce Harper was back this weekend. Came back Friday. Had a hit in all 3 games against the Pirates. But he has not homered yet, Scotty. They go out to Arizona. He's plus 360. He's got great career numbers against Bumgarner, including 2 homers off of him. We know he stinks. Let's get Bryce on the board for the first time since coming off the IL.
Yeah, I'll go with you there. Why not? I have to say, though, the Diamondbacks are coming off 3 straight wins. They won in the 9th inning against the White Sox in Chicago yesterday with a big hit. And I got to tell you, Suarez is going tonight. The Phillies are 10 times better than the D-backs. But the Phillies got beat by the Pirates yesterday, 5-0, and had to fly to Arizona and then take on Bumgarner. And I got to tell you, I was close to jumping on that Bumgarner plus $1.58, but I didn't do it at the window. I'm just saying that was the one game where I saw value in terms of an upset. And the other one was the Padres, because they were getting, last night $1.20. It went down to $1.18. I saw it at $1.15, whatever. There's really only 2 value plays today if you're a bettor. Everything else is just gigantic odds. I'm not laying any of that money anywhere.
I'm with you on that one. We'll see if Bryce could at least get himself over the wall. And finally, this is my little add-on with Mookie not going, and I was kind of going to throw it to you anyway. Christian Yelich for the Brewers. He's got homers in 2 straight games, faces the Pirates tonight, Scotty, and he faces Eichhoff. 5 for 17, 2 homers off him, plus 400 for Yelich to stay hot tonight.
Okay, so, and that's the last home run is that you're giving me? What are you giving me there?
I throw in you Yelich because Betts isn't playing. So that's my 4th guy tonight. I'm giving you Yelich tonight.
He hit home runs in 2 straight games. I say no tonight.
Okay, here's the game props for you. The Cardinals are in Cincinnati against the Reds. They're going to win tonight and over 8.5, plus 135. Cardinals score some runs. They win in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I have my reservations about that. They got that lucky 3-run homer in the 8th inning last night to win that game. That game was scoreless in the 6th. I'm going to say no.
Angels have started to score some runs. Yankees have not been, but I think that they could get 3 against Suarez tonight. Yankees and the Angels both to score only 3 runs, plus 120. Each team scores 3.
I like that. I'm sure the Angels will score 15 runs against the Yankees. They bend over against everybody out there.
And finally, the late night game between the Padres and the Giants. I like the Giants with Rodon tonight, and under all total of 9.5. Under 9.5, Giants win, plus 150.
Yeah, I'm not. I told you, I'm taking a shot with that Padres upset tonight of Rodon in San Francisco.
Get a similar price, Scotty, if you wanted to go Padres and under the 9.5 too. Also a pretty good number there. So whichever way you want to play it, we keep the game under and one of them wins.
Yeah, I like that with San Diego winning and the under.
There you go. Lion's share, BetMGM.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM.
If you want to pick like a pro, you need to be in the know. The future of sports gaming is now, and we take you inside the lines, breaking down all the action and what it means for your bet slip. Turn down the game and tune into Sports Grid Radio. Other networks talk sports talk, but we walk the walk, right up to the window. Sports Grid Radio.
Listen free on the Sports Grid Radio app, iHeart or TuneIn, or catch us on SiriusXM Sports Grid Channel 159.
The morning after.
Where do you rank the Nets in the Eastern Conference? Are they a top 3 team, a top 5 team? Are they the favorites in your mind?
I think Boston's better than them. I think Philadelphia's going to be a resurgent team. Look for them to be better. And listen, folks, they don't have an easy start. New Orleans, Toronto, Memphis, Milwaukee, Dallas to begin the season. There's too many unknowns with this team. I think you go under 52.5 for the Nets.
The Sports Grid Network. Fantasy Sports
The
Today.
chemistry that Kelsey and Mahomes have is just so great. He is the longest tenured Chiefs player on offense right now. Like, he is the guy who's been there with Andy Reid and with Mahomes the longest. I think the only pass catcher on the roster who would have caught a pass when Alex Smith was the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, that kind of institutional memory for Kelsey, I think he's just locked into 90 receptions, 1,000 yards. I just don't think he can be worse than that.
The Sports Grid Network. The Early Line.
Paul Goldschmidt is minus 1450 to win the NL MVP award. The question is not whether this guy is going to win the NL MVP. It's can he get the NL Triple Crown?
You know who's number 2? Nolan Arenado on the same team. 25-1. Arenado's not jumping him at this point, so Paul Goldschmidt looks like he locked this thing up.
Only on Sports Grid. Ferrall, coast to coast.
I did have a source told me the Bills were not aware when they drafted him in the 6th round. However, they were aware when they cut Matt Hawk. You can only walk up to a certain line and say, okay, they knew that this may be coming, and they still stuck with him anyway. So I think that the fan base is upset about that. It sounds to me as though Matt Araiza and his agent were just hoping that this was going to go away and nobody was going to find out about it. And they were sadly mistaken.
The Sports Grid Network.
All right, Ferrall back on Coast to Coast. It's time for Jason Scott, the VP of Trading at BetMGM and MGM in Las Vegas, to join us on C2C per usual on a Monday. Hope you had a great weekend, Jason. Let's start with Rory Mcilroy. I almost fell over when I saw this guy came back from 6 shots down to steal grand larceny, that $18 million tour championship for the 3rd time. I think he's done it. Was anybody throwing down money on Rory when they teed off on Sunday with him down 6 strokes?
He's a very popular player. He was our worst result in the book. The book lost again. But in all seriousness, that's the truth. But it was an amazing win. If you think about it, if you remember back to Thursday, he triple bogeyed the first hole and bogeyed the second.
Right.
So he was 4 over after 2. And was giving Scheffler 6 shots. So he's 10 off the lead after 2 holes. It was a remarkable win, 63-66 on the weekend. He's been around all year. We've made enough money out of Rory this year. We can afford to lose on him this week, Scotty. He's promised a lot. He's promised the world and delivered an Atlas all the rest of the year. So we'll give him this one.
When you saw him draining 30-foot putts on the back 9 there, did you smell it coming?
I smelled it coming, but I didn't have the look of horror on my face that Scotty Scheffler did. He kind of like, it was Greg Norman-esque, wasn't it? Like, The
It
six-shot
was.
lead, particularly, he finished that third round off on Sunday morning brilliantly to open up the lead, and then it was like he went back to the change room, the dressing room, and just got the shakes. Yeah, it was different to how he's played for the whole year, but he's still got a nice chunk of change.
Yeah, he got like 4.7 million. He shared it with him. He finished tied for second. Does a guy recover from something like that, or will it haunt him for a while?
Look, I have never met Scott Scheffler, but he strikes me as a fairly calm sort of guy. And let's face it, he made 30, 25 million for the year. I think he'll be fine.
As long as you got that kind of cheddar, you're good to go. So, with a limited schedule, you were getting a bunch of action on both Northwestern and Nebraska this weekend. How did that game affect you?
No, it was great in the end. I mean, the only one affected better, I don't know if you read about it, Scotty, that the internet broke down there in Ireland, and instead of doing it, they would do everywhere else in the world and close the concession stands. They handed out free beer to everyone. What a country.
That was brilliant.
Brilliant, exactly. So, no, look, it was great for us. There was a lot of parlays starting the day that had Nebraska's name on it, and our man Scott, again, he's let us down again, and I hope he's still got a job by the end of the week.
I mean, honest to Christ, have you ever seen anything like the job that this guy's done in Lincoln? And listen, I got to tell you, on Friday I said on this show, and I had a really hot day Saturday picking college football games and those stupid preseason NFL games for that matter. But I just, I said that they get better athletes in Lincoln than they do in Evanston. I don't care how long Pat Fitzgerald's been there. I mean, do you remember what Tom Osborne built in Lincoln with that college football program and all those national championships? This guy is an utter failure and disaster, and they have got to get rid of him.
I fed you that line beautifully, and you've answered how I expected. Yeah, I can't see how they can continue on. He's got another 3 years, does he not? There is no chance he sees it out.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. What kind of action did you get? I got to tell you, my best play of the day was FAU laying 7 to that crappy Charlotte 49er defense that can't stop themselves or a runny nose. They were up 7-0 and they got obliterated. I said on Friday they'd win by 30. They won 43-13. You do the math.
Feels like 30 to me. Yeah, no, look, activity was really good for us. We started well. Obviously, the Nebraska game was good for us. Illinois covering was no good. And then as happens every Saturday night, the main game starts, the Hawaii game. Those that are in front are betting up. Those that are behind are chasing. And we had a glimmer of hope when Hawaii led 7-0 early, and that was the end of it. So a lot of our customers punched their way out of a bit of trouble late Saturday night.
Yeah, they smoked them. I couldn't even believe how badly they kicked their ass. I was on Vandy, though, and they got it done and blew them out. So here we go. There's been a ton of action placed for week 1 of the NFL, not just the Thursday nighter in SoFi, but the Sunday, the 11th, all those opening games. Are people waiting to see how the preseason closed out before they started getting involved, or are they already throwing down all kinds of money on the games for week 1?
Look, what we see people don't really want to lock their money away for it's still 2 weeks away, to take -110. So the people that are betting early are finding sort of alternate spreads or lines, betting the dogs. We don't see that much money for any of the favourites this early, which is pretty common, unless someone, they believe they've got an advantage. So we're seeing a lot of action. The Patriots game, as usual, the division game, Patriots and Dolphins, have seen a lot of action, nearly all to the Dolphins. Been money for the Commanders against the Jaguars as well.
So what about, is it true somebody walked in there and bet on the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl?
We did. We got 300 out of him, but we had a better customer last week. He had 5,000 on the Jets at 80-1 to win the conference, and 5,150-1 to win the Super Bowl. So that was an interesting $10,000 worth of handle to obtain.
I mean, honestly, like where do these people hide out? Where are they drinking? I got to know where that party is. He goes, I mean, it's Idiotville. I could be the mayor there.
If I knew where they were, Scotty, I'd build a fence around them and they'd never be getting out.
Never let them out. What players are getting a lot of movement or bets placed on them for player props in the NFL already?
A lot of unders more than anything. What we see is a lot of people reactive to what's happening. You know, we've seen quite a lot of Najee Harris unders. I think there's been a fair bit of publicity about Tomlin saying that perhaps he might share the load a little bit more this year. And then the obvious, the Cooper Cup over, the people think he's going to back up the Triple Crown, the Jamar Chase. But I'd say the most money we've had bet this year is certainly on the Najee Harris unders.
Is there a number up yet on when Giselle is going to leave Tom? Is there an over-under on that? Is it under a year? Is it a year and a half? Is it 6 months? What is it?
I've got a personal philosophy of never betting against Tom Brady, so he'll find a way. He wins at life. He'll find a way to keep her. If he doesn't, he'll just have a 15-year younger version of her.
He could get divorced and she'd still live in the mansion with him on the East End. How many people jumped on the Nets to win the East now that allegedly the Cream Puff Reaper is back?
The Cream Puff Reaper. Look, it was one of those ones which we often you see with these players that are going to a club or change their mind, that we see a lot of money in the 48 hours prior. We didn't see a lot. But once the announcement was made, our friends in New York certainly came through fairly consistently and heavily. And, you know, I'd be more worried about what Ben Simmons is going to do than what Kevin Durant does if you think that team's going to compete.
So Holmgren busted his foot. How has that changed things for Rookie of the Year? Is it just all Banchero? Everybody's bouncing on that?
Yeah. Well, the good thing is that the trader that bet with me that Holmgren to win the Rookie of the Year had to pay me, so that's something good that's come out of it. Banchero in a plus 200, Murray plus 500, Ivy plus 550, Jabari Smith plus 600. The money's been basically Banchero close to 50% since the Holmgren left, and we've seen decent money for Smith as well.
So you've seen guys like Odom, et cetera, have problems before they ever started playing in the NBA. Do you think that Chet Holmgren's going to have those type of problems? He's already broken his foot. What it'll be next year? What do you think will happen to him next year?
Well, to be fair, he'd weigh 150 pounds less than Odom, wouldn't he? So you wouldn't think he's got the pressure coming down on his foot. That, you know, he was a big guy, Greg Oden. But he just had a body. That's the reason I was happy to be top odds him. I think he had a body that just looked like it couldn't compete to me against those strong guys. Now, whether it can compete physically, I wasn't buying the hype, and let's see what happens next year.
I mean, he looks like he could compete, and I know he's a great player, and he can shoot and block shots, but he looks like he should be playing at my son's high school. I mean, honestly, he's 100%. So skinny. They got to give him protein shakes like 10 a day. All right, are a bunch of people betting on Serena tonight?
We've seen a little bit of Serena, 33-1 to win the tournament. She's been, I'd say she's our worst result, which you would expect. No big money though, Scotty. It's all the $10, $20, $50, $100 on Serena for old time's sake. And frankly, if I've got to lose on one event this year, I would love to think it was Serena winning the US Open. I think it's probably not going to happen, but it would be a magic ending to her career.
So what kind of numbers do you get at the U.S. Open? You know, because, I mean, I got to tell you, like, compare it to, like, Wimbledon, for instance, because I know no one really cares here, do they, about the Aussie or the French? I love Nadal at the French, but do people actually bet on it? Because I would think that the U.S. Open would crush all of them.
It's probably 3x Wimbledon and 10x, you know, particularly Australia where the time zone's not really good. France is slightly better. But the problem we've had the last few years, obviously Djokovic not coming the last 2 years, Roger retiring, Rafa sort of being on one leg half the time. So when you get those three in a tournament, they would create a lot of interest. But, you know, let's face it, Medvedev plus 250 is a very good player, defending champion, but he's not an inspiring person that brings the crowds out. And the ladies, as usual, is there's many chances, and it's half a lottery. Swiatek plus 350, double figures the rest. So it's the interest will be on the men's side this tournament, with the exception of Serena.
I've been to it before. It's really cool, I have to admit. Have you ever gone to the Aussie Open when you lived down there?
Yeah, I have. I've been to the Aussie Open many times. I actually went to the US Open last year as well for early rounds. I prefer the early rounds, Scotty, where I got lots of games, a lot more to bet on. I don't want to go and watch a semi-final or a final where there's only one match. If I get behind, I can't punch out.
So what did you think of going to Flushing to the US Open? It's pretty cool, right? And now it's better than ever. Now they got food trucks and booze. They got it all going now.
I thought it was a spectacular day out. I certainly, if I lived on the East Coast, I'd make it a regular event on the Scott calendar.
Yeah, my buddy's out there today, and our guy, Rick Harrow, our legal analyst on the network, he's out there as well. They should probably have dinner together. I'm looking forward to the big day Saturday of college football. I'm sure you guys will be rocking packed. It's going to be a scene out there, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the time of the year that it's the fun part of my job. That's why we get out of bed in the morning through the dog days of summer and as much baseball as you can handle. Great to have football back, and college football starts. I think it's always good this first week where the interest is. We've seen a lot of money for Michigan State in the last couple of days. Our lines moved to 21.5 after you could get 17 not that long ago.
Too bad they suck. I don't care what anybody says. All right, Jason, I'll see you next week, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Fantasy Sports Today.
Don't let James Robinson's presence in camp, no matter what reports tell you, put you off of Travis Etienne. Even if early it's slow to the uptake, stay the course, because I'm telling you, Travis Etienne's better talent. He's the guy they invested heavy draft capital. They need that return, and that rapport with Trevor Lawrence is not to be overlooked. That's a very important thing, especially for a young quarterback, to have guys in the offense he trusts. So we want to take advantage of people's negative perceptions.
The Sports Grid Network. Ferrall, coast to coast.
I think both the Braves and the Mets are playoff teams. They are two of the top three best teams in the National League, and quite frankly, neither of them are going to get the bye. The bye is going to the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are by far, not kind of the best team in baseball, by far a wide variety and margin the best team in Major League Baseball. They're going to get the bye, so one way or the other, the Mets are going to be in a situation that they're going to have to grind through all of October, as are the Braves.
The Sports Grid Network. The early line.
There's too many question marks for me, DRS. The talent drop-off that he is dealing with from those dogs over at Clemson and what OU is going to have on the defensive side of the football is quite a bit. Donnie, since when is OU not just filling out, right? At least first team all offense. That's just not the way this group lines up here. Too many question marks for me year one. The schedule's too easy to go under the 8.5.
Only on Sports Grid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I'm not buying you dinner because I'm wrong. I'm buying you dinner because you're in town, and it's a nice thing for a friend to do to another friend. Just buy them dinner.
I have to pick up my phone and hold it right now because it's buzzing nonstop because you're talking.
Well, that's what I do, so that's kind of my thing. It's kind of hard to stop me from kind of hard to stop me from talking. People have tried for 45 years and it hasn't really worked yet. So,
the Bostonian versus the Book. Your heart's racing. The clock's running out. It all comes down to this. We're talking pregame. 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 Get locked in with Game Time Decisions. Your hosts, Gabe Morency and Cam Stewart, will get you ready for game time. Everything you need to know before a game goes off the board, with the bet slips to back it up. Make your best bet with live odds updates, late breaking news, up-to-the-minute injury reports, and real-time analytics from inside the sports books. All the odds, all the action, from sports wagering insiders and industry pros like Donnie Rightside, Cam Lou, Cousin Sal, the Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, and more. Get the winning edge every weekday afternoon from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, 3 to 4 Pacific. It's Game Time Decisions. Only on Sports Grid.
All right, Carver High. Those Ravens, all they do is win preseason games.
It is amazing, Scotty. Saturday night, not even the curse of Haro could stop the Ravens against Washington. They win their 23rd straight preseason game. I mean, look, it don't matter, but it is kind of bizarre that they've won 23. And they don't even play their guys. Like, Lamar hasn't stepped on the field in like 2 years in the preseason, but they still win every single one. But it was not all sunshine and rainbows for the Ravens on Saturday night, Scotty. One guy did not get out unscathed. When you've won 23 preseason games in a row, sometimes bad things do happen. The mascot, Poe, went down at halftime playing in the flag football game with the kids, Scotty. Serious injury. They had to bring the cart out for the poor guy. At least Harbaugh gave us an update on Poe after the game. Here we go.
I knew you guys were going to ask that. Didn't he come out of the tunnel? A la Willis Reed? Come on, it's kids' night. It's kids' night, remember? So, no updates on that. There'll be an MRI tomorrow, I'm sure.
The mascot blew out a knee. Imagine that.
Your boy John, all smiles here, Scotty, as they're getting ready to kick off the season against the Jets. Week number 1, Ravens at MetLife to take on New York. And they, of course, are favored on the road.
I know a lot of people that are betting on Flacco to beat them.
I do, too.
I just think that's insanity.
Have a good time is what I tell those people, Scotty. Have a good time. All right, we will come back, finish out the preseason in the NFL. I've got a few more things for you, and then we'll get into the baseball from the weekend as well. A lot more to do here on Coast to Coast as we roll on, Scotty.
I'm ready, brother. Let's go. Let's do it. And listen, I got to tell you, I am ready to bet on these games. I'm sick and tired of preseason football, and I don't care about the injured mascot either.